Today we're breaking down The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Ever wonder why the wrong people seem to get promoted while you're doing all the work? Why some people effortlessly command respect while you're constantly fighting for recognition? And why being nice and playing fair seems to get you nowhere while manipulators rise to the top? Robert Greene discovered after studying thousands of years of history that power doesn't flow to the most deserving. It flows to those who understand its hidden laws, whether they use them consciously or instinctively. In this video, you will learn 6 essential laws of power that govern every human interaction, including why your competence might be threatening your boss, and how appearing less smart can actually make you more powerful. Watch till the end to understand the invisible game being played around you every day, not necessarily to manipulate others, but to protect yourself from manipulation and navigate power dynamics intelligently. Lesson number 1, never outshine the master. This first law explains why your excellence might be sabotaging your career, and it starts with understanding the insecurity that lives at every level of power. Everyone above you wants to feel superior, even if they hired you for your expertise. When you make them look dim by comparison, you trigger their insecurity. And insecure people in power are dangerous to your career. Think about every boss you've had who turned against you. Did it happen after you solved a problem they couldn't? After you got praised in a meeting? After you showed knowledge they lacked? You thought you were proving value. You were actually proving threat. Greene shows this pattern throughout history. The brilliant advisor who makes the king look foolish gets executed. The talented protege who overshadows the mentor gets sabotaged. The employee who fixes everything becomes the enemy, not the hero. The paradox is that you need to demonstrate value without demonstrating superiority. You must be useful, but not intimidating. Competent, but not competing. This isn't about being mediocre. It's about being strategic. Make your superiors look good, and they'll keep you around. Make them look bad, even unintentionally, and they'll find reasons to remove you. Your talent becomes a liability when it threatens their ego. But here's what most people miss. The key is to make your master appear to be the source of your competence. Give them credit for teaching you. Ask for their wisdom publicly. Present your ideas as extensions of theirs. You're not diminishing yourself. You're securing your position. When presenting solutions, frame them as fulfilling your superior's vision. Following your guidance about efficiency, I found a way to. You get the result while they get the glory. It feels unfair, but it's how power works. This doesn't mean be incompetent. Masters need competent servants, but they need to feel like masters. The moment they feel like the servant, your relationship is doomed. Ego trumps logic in power dynamics. The application. In your next interaction with someone above you, consciously make them feel smarter, not dumber. Watch how differently they treat you. You're not being fake. You're being fluent in power. Which brings us to controlling information flow. Lesson number 2. Always say less than necessary. This principle will transform how people perceive your intelligence and power, because powerful people know that words are weapons that can be turned against you. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. Every word is a potential vulnerability. Every explanation is an opportunity for attack. Every justification makes you look weaker. Powerful people speak economically. Watch any interrogation video. Guilty or innocent, the person who talks most loses. They contradict themselves, reveal information, create doubt. The person who stays quiet maintains power. Silence is a fortress. In meetings, notice who talks most versus who has most authority, usually inverse. The nervous fill silence with chatter. The confident let silence work for them. When you speak less, people lean in more. Greene points to countless leaders who mastered this. They speak in measured doses, making every word count. When they do speak, rooms go quiet. Not because they demand it, but because scarcity creates value. But here's the psychological mechanism. When you say less, people project more. They fill your silence with their assumptions, usually overestimating your knowledge. The less you reveal, the more powerful you seem. Mystery creates authority. Think about your last negotiation. Who revealed their position first? They lost. The person who talks first, explains first, justifies first, loses leverage. Information is currency. Don't spend it carelessly. Social media destroyed this law for many. Everyone overshares, overexplains, overdocuments, then wonders why they have no gravitas. You've shown all your cards. There's no mystery, no power, just transparency that breeds contempt. The practice. In your next conversation, say half what you normally would. Watch how differently people respond. They'll ask more questions, value your words more, assume you know more than you're saying. This isn't about being antisocial or mysterious for mystery's sake. It's about recognizing that in a world of noise, silence is power. In a world of oversharing, restraint is strength. Which brings us to the counterintuitive value of conflict. Lesson number 3. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. This wisdom reveals why your enemies might be more useful than your friends, starting with an uncomfortable truth about human nature. Friends expect favors, feel entitled, get comfortable. They know your weaknesses, take liberties, assume forgiveness. Hiring friends ruins friendships. Promoting friends creates resentment. Friends make terrible allies in power games. Enemies, however, have something to prove. Convert an enemy to your side, and they'll work harder than any friend to demonstrate loyalty. They can't take you for granted. They must earn their position. This makes them valuable. Greene shows how throughout history, leaders who surrounded themselves with friends fell faster than those who converted enemies. Friends breed complacency. Former enemies breed vigilance. But there's a deeper strategy here. Your enemies teach you more than friends ever could. They show you your weaknesses. They force you to improve. They keep you sharp. Friends tell you what you want to hear. Enemies show you what you need to know. Study your enemies like a curriculum. What tactics do they use? What are their strengths? Their criticisms of you, however painful, often contain truth. Your friends won't tell you these truths. Your enemies will. The real power move isn't destroying enemies, it's converting them. When you turn an enemy into an ally, you gain their knowledge, remove a threat, and demonstrate power to everyone watching. 3 wins from 1 move. But here's what's crucial. Never fully trust a friend in power games. Never fully dismiss an enemy. Friends can betray from comfort. Enemies can teach from conflict. The wise person learns from both, but depends on neither. Keep enemies visible. You want to know where they are, what they're doing. Hidden enemies are dangerous. Visible enemies are manageable. Sometimes maintaining a rivalry is safer than forcing resolution. Create a controlled opposition. Having known enemies makes you look powerful. You have worthy adversaries. It also gives you someone to blame when needed. No enemies means no one takes you seriously. The application. Identify one enemy in your professional life. Instead of avoiding them, engage them. Learn their methods. Find common ground. Converting them will teach you more than a dozen friends could. Which brings us to controlling your emotional broadcasts. Lesson number 4. Conceal your intentions. This law explains why transparency is weakness and strategic ambiguity is strength, starting with how predictability makes you powerless. When people know what you want, they can deny it. When they know your plans, they can block them. When they know your feelings, they can manipulate them. Transparency isn't honesty, it's vulnerability. Think about any negotiation. The person whose intentions are clear has no leverage. The person whose intentions are hidden has options. Not lying, just not revealing. There's a critical difference. Greene demonstrates how masters of power create smokescreens. They talk about one thing while planning another. They show interest where they have none, show indifference where they care deeply. They zig before they zag. In office politics, the person broadcasting their ambition for promotion gets sabotaged. The one who seems content while quietly positioning, they get promoted. Visible ambition creates resistance. Hidden ambition encounters no obstacles. Social interactions work the same way. Show too much interest in someone, they lose interest. Show you're affected by an insult, expect more insults. Your reactions teach people how to control you. But here's the sophisticated application. Use false signals. If you want something, show interest in something else. If you're moving left, look right. Create decoys for your real intentions. Let people think they've figured you out while you work on what really matters. Red herrings are powerful. Complain about small things while securing big things. Let people think they know your weakness while hiding your strength. Give them a false victory while winning the war. The candid person seems trustworthy, but becomes predictable, therefore controllable. The person who reveals selectively maintains maneuverability, not deception, strategic disclosure. Watch powerful people speak. They use conditional language, hypotheticals, maybes. They preserve options. Meanwhile, powerless people make declarations, commit publicly, trap themselves with transparency. Master this. Have 3 explanations for every action. The one you give publicly, the one you give privately, and the real one you tell no one. This isn't paranoia, it's flexibility. Which brings us to the economy of presence. Lesson number 5. Use absence to increase respect. This principle explains why being too available makes you worthless, and strategic scarcity makes you valuable. Supply and demand applies to humans. The friend always available seems less valuable than the one hard to reach. The employee always staying late gets taken for granted. The person always saying yes gets respected less than the one who sometimes says no. Greene shows how presence in small doses creates impact. The leader who rarely appears makes waves when they do. The expert who limits consultations commands higher fees. Scarcity creates value, even artificial scarcity. Think about relationships. The person always texting back immediately seems desperate. The one who sometimes delays seems busy, important, desired elsewhere. It's not games, it's perceived value, and perception is reality in power. But constant presence breeds contempt through familiarity. Your quirks become annoying. Your stories get old. Your presence becomes background noise. You become furniture, necessary but unnoticed. The counterintuitive truth. Sometimes the best way to be valued is to remove yourself. Take a vacation and watch people realize what you do. Skip a meeting and notice how you're missed. Create absence to create awareness. Here's the strategic application. Build systems that work without you, then occasionally don't show up. People realize your value when they experience your absence. But if everything collapses without you, you're not powerful, you're trapped. In negotiations, the person willing to walk away has power. In relationships, the one who needs it least controls it. In careers, the one with options has leverage. Absence is an option. Use it. Time your appearances for maximum impact. Don't be the first to arrive or last to leave. Arrive when needed. Leave while wanted. Peak presence beats persistent presence. Create intentional scarcity. Limit your availability. Have office hours. Batch your responses. Don't be on demand for everyone. The more accessible you are, the less valuable you become. Which brings us to the ultimate power principle. Lesson number 6. Reputation is everything. Guard it with your life. This final law reveals why your reputation is your most valuable asset, and losing it means losing everything. Reputation is a force multiplier. With a good reputation, everything is easier. People trust you. Opportunities find you. Mistakes are forgiven. With a bad reputation, everything is harder. Doors close. People doubt you. Successes are questioned. Greene shows how reputation works like compound interest. Each positive action builds on previous ones, but also like bankruptcy. Gradually, then suddenly. One scandal can destroy decades of building. Your reputation precedes you into every room. People make decisions about you before meeting you. They Google you, ask about you, form opinions based on others' experiences. You're being judged by proxy constantly. But here's what's critical. Reputation isn't about truth. It's about perception. You could be competent, but perceived as incompetent. Honest, but perceived as deceptive. The perception becomes the reality you must navigate. Once established, reputation is self-reinforcing. Good reputation? Your mistakes are minimized, successes amplified. Bad reputation? Your successes are dismissed, mistakes amplified. Same actions, different interpretations. The strategic approach: build reputation deliberately, not accidentally. Decide what you want to be known for, then consistently demonstrate it. Not occasionally, constantly. Repetition creates reputation. Specialize your reputation. Better to be known as the absolute best at one thing than pretty good at many. The specialist commands more respect and resources than the generalist. Pick your reputation lane and dominate it. Protect reputation preemptively. Address rumors immediately. Correct misperceptions quickly. One lie unchallenged becomes truth through repetition. Silence isn't dignity when reputation is at stake. It's surrender. Use others' reputations strategically. Associate with those whose reputations enhance yours. Distance from those whose reputations damage yours. You're judged by company you keep. Choose carefully. Never attack reputation directly. It looks defensive. Instead, demonstrate the opposite through actions. Accused of being difficult? Be conspicuously easy to work with. Let actions argue for you. Here's what Greene really teaches. Power isn't about being evil. It's about understanding reality. These laws aren't prescriptions. They're descriptions. This is how power works whether you participate or not. Ignoring these dynamics doesn't make you moral. It makes you vulnerable. Use this knowledge defensively, if nothing else. Recognize when someone's using these tactics on you. Understand why certain people succeed despite seeming less qualified. See the game being played around you. Today's action. Pick one law and observe it for a week. Watch how people unconsciously apply or violate it. Notice the consequences. You'll never see human interaction the same way again. Because here's what the 48 Laws really reveals. Power isn't about force. It's about understanding. Those who understand human nature navigate it. Those who don't become its victims. Remember, power games are being played whether you participate or not. At least know the rules. For more book summaries that give you actionable takeaways without the fluff, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.